All right, we're live.
Hello, my friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Azalea is joining us along with Sam. Say hi, y'all.
Hello.
That's they're all manning the technology. So we just left the Softflex live with Sarah, and while I was on with Sarah, I made this lovely knotted experiment with silk. This is some silk and metallic Softflex in fine. And I feel like, let me put it on, I need to trim it. So when we ended, I had put this together, or I went around this. It was so goofy. I was like, this is what you get when you rush. So I made the loop. Let's see how it fits. I did not trim that last bit off. And look at the look. I'm test driving this nylon here and seeing how it looks for our next necklace card adventure. So we make necklaces for the craft fairs and, art festivals. And usually I use craft boards, and they're really hard. It's like what you use for comic book backings. And I wanted something a little more professional, so I wanted to change it up and do something with a nice cord. And I found this, and it's really pretty. I've had it on there since before the flood. It hasn't really changed, so I like it. I'm going to trim that little extra. So I used a crimp. That's one of the other benefits of having the Softflex as your secondary beading cord. And look how flexible and nice it is. It's like there's no kinks. I saw a comment, or Sarah read a comment asking if what's that other brand that she mentioned? I can't remember the other brand.
I can't remember either.
She just told, and I just heard it. I can't remember what it is. It's another brand. The thing that makes Softflex really good is the way they twist it. If you've ever spun yarn, you know that it has a direction, right? So if you were to use the knotting without using another material like hemp, Kate sent me this. She has these, and these were great for knotting. The only downside I found is that there's a little bit of a stretch, and I don't like the stretch. I don't know, some people don't mind, but let me show how this came out. Look how pretty this is. You guys love this. I didn't trim it yet, but this is the other knotting that we did on Sunday night. So I finished it. I finished the amount that I wanted. I thought it would be a good length, right about there. Yeah, kind of, I think it's a good length. Sometimes when they're too long, it can be where when you lean over, you ding your necklace against the edge of the table. And I don't love that story. Catney, the crimp won't damage the silk. Catney. There is you wouldn't want to do that without Softflex, but since I have, there's Softflex in here. See that? In the last, when we were on the Softflex live with Sarah, like 1 hour ago, we started it. We made this, and I showed how to. You should, like, by now I've shown it a few times, but I didn't show it with Softflex and silk. Now, the good part about it is the strength and the lack of stretchiness. So I pulled that. Each time I made a knot, I stretched in between. So this is already pre-stretched. And while I was using the silk, I did a little bit of a stretching like this. I got this at SAF last year. It's a silk mixed with, it feels like just silk to me. But this was sold as like a fine gauge yarn, and it's not a cord. It's supposed to be yarn, but this would be fine weight. So, you know what? I was kind of getting used to somebody else reading those comments.
Oh, I can read them to you if you want.
Oh, if you want to.
I thought you like to have control to see it.
I do like to see that. Hello, my friends. Hello, Tina. Hello, Nilda. Hello, Carrie Arase. She says, at work. And I see Kathy, Sandy. Hello, my friends. Hello. I see Robin, Wendy, my friend, Katney, Cherie. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Does Marty want to make an appearance before you switch the camera?
Oh, yes. Bring that baby over here. Hello, my friend, Allison, Kelly. Hello. Oh, I see Clem. Hello. Dale. Oh, my baby. You know, hello, my darling. He is so marshmallow soft. This cat is what you call marshmallow. He does not make his body like all rigid and stiff.
Look how he make himself soft.
He makes himself dead weight. It's a good-looking cat, a very good-looking cat.
He cries a lot. He's gonna watch you do your work.
Yeah,
he's
interested. What do you think? He would look excellent with this color, don't you think? This cat, perfect.
He would look good in anything.
So perfect. So today it was a pretty good time. We went to, and when I say we, I mean me. I finally, after how long has it been? 5-6 weeks. So since the hurricane came along and ruined everybody's life for this last couple of months, we did not get to get on the Blue Ridge Parkway. You take stuff for granted, you get used to stuff, and then when you can't do it, then it's a real drag. So I thoroughly enjoyed going on a walk today. So here's this. I want to put a clasp on it. I have this one. I have not released it yet because I'm still kind of test driving it. It's the one that looks kind of like a fishbone. You see that? Pretty cool.
I'm releasing him. I'm releasing him.
He's good. He's had enough.
He's trying so hard.
He is a chunk of love. Oh, Linda, I'm so sorry to hear that. Your poor kitty. 20 years. That's a good long time, but still, that's a horrible feeling. Ugh, I don't like that feeling. So yesterday, I went over to my friend Sarah's house. She's a physical therapist. And she was like, I hope you're doing some stretches. And I was not. Sometimes I forget to do stretches. And there's some that are so good of just sitting straight and then squeezing your shoulder blades back to loosen up your neck. So she was saying if you're sitting sedentary for any length of time, you should get up, do shoulder rolls. And one that was good was, I'll show it in a second, it was a really good one. It kind of makes your neck feel nice and loose. He is a toasted marshmallow, Bonnie. That cat is so lovely. Yes, he's a very snuggly kitty. Super snuggly. All right. I'm behind. There's a lot of stuff here happening. Okay, so the hashtag here, Golden Hour, that is for this kit right here. This is a bead collection that I put together. We unearthed these from my studio. So it's a blend of vintage, but at this point, what is it when it's, these were old when I bought them 24 years ago. I don't know. What does that mean?
Antique?
Maybe antique.
Maybe.
Sam said that with very tentatively, did he say antique? But they were in their original packaging. The friend of ours that we got the seed beads are in big paper bags, and they sold them only by the hank and by the weight. I think he had this great big scale, and you'd set these old beads. He even had those steel cut charlottes from that they used to make those little embroidered purses. Ancient.
Is the word retro?
Retro. It's retro. Yes, retro. Oh yeah. So what was I saying? So the golden hour, all caps, no small case, lowercase. So, and the hashtag, so that when we do the giveaway tonight for this at the end,
You have to be here.
And you're here, then this will work. This will work. So then I mixed this with, looks like several different kinds of bugle beads. Those were good for sewing down. My sister and I would use these kits. I should do a live on this. I can't believe I just never remembered it. We used to call it the wandering needle necklace. So you would buy the kit or the seed beads, and I had the directions, and I had a little special. So if you bought the directions, they were like $1 or something, and a bead or a button, it was a special price. It was an easy project. It was so easy. So anyway, as I was thinking of that project, and it reminded me, like, I haven't done that in years. What you need is a beading needle and beading thread and silk. So I'll show that on something. That was a fun one. I just remember looking at this and teaching it at Bead and Button before Azalea was born. She's 20.
BA.
It's BA before Azalea was born. So anyway, and I can see some kind of a silky bead in there. They get a good close up of what's in there. I found the sack of this because I'm a type of person, if I'm going to make something, I'm going to make a big quantity of it if I can. And I saw I had a lot of that one, so maybe I'll put those on the website. Oh, thank you, Tina. She says, the necklace you are wearing is beautiful. You know what I did? I twisted 2 of my necklaces together. One is a little longer than the other. Let's see. So this one I showed on a live. Where's the other? I twisted them like this because they kind of had a same color vibe. And I thought that was pretty, So you take a treasure necklace and one that you string I took these tourmalines. This was a strand we had on a lot sale a couple months ago or so. And I reconfigured them, laid them all out, and did an ombre mix with them. And I put this clasp. I don't know if there's a lot of interest in this. I don't know. I just made it 2 or 3 months ago, and I have not released it. So maybe I will here. I don't know. It has kind of, I was trying to think of something when I made this. I was thinking of like leaves or like the skeleton, like a little bit like a spine, and it has a sort of bone feel to it, like the skeleton of a leaf, if you ever see that when you're walking. So it's kind of I left it kind of sculptural and open for interpretation. So it's kind of like if you see a fish bone, that's, or maybe you see fern, like a fern design. So that's kind of what I was thinking about with this. I haven't released it yet. I don't know if there's interest, but I like to test drive my clasps and wear them for a while and see what happens. So that's what I did with this. I thought today, I showed knotting, what was it, like an hour ago. Liz says, I like that class. Would you do a pre-order? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I think so. I think that's a good idea. We might do a pre-order. Maybe. Azalea, when she hears the word pre-order, she's all like, no, she does not love pre-order. But, My Beaded Bliss kind of reminds me of one of the sculptures in Beetlejuice. Big fan. It's actually kind of I know the one you're talking about. It kind of looks like a hand that's going to, pin. It pins. Now I call her Moira. What's her name? Catherine O'Hara. When she gets slammed against the wall in Beetlejuice, that sculpture, that looks exactly like this mushroom called, was it Dead Man's Fingers? Or what was it on? Ink caps. They come up out of the ground and they're black. They're almost shaped exactly like that. And there are a lot of things in nature that are shaped like that. I kind of love it. I love when there is like how when you see veins on your arm, and if you look at it, you see, like on me, they're kind of bluish, but don't they kind of, like if you look at if you're ever on a plane and you look down and you see riverbeds, it kind of reminds me of the same type of thing. It's like, but this is dirt and this is a human. So it's pretty cool. Oh, Terry says, my tool arrived that I ordered. It is amazing. Greg does great work. Thank you. Yes, he does do good work. Those are my favorite tools. I love them. All right, Wendy says, I'll buy that. How about a tree with a bird in it? Yeah, I need to do something like that. Oh, I've been working on my waxes. I've been trying to get them done, but I tell you, sometimes with everything happening, I was telling Sarah, the Blue Ridge Parkway, the section, so it's been closed now for the past, since Helene. And it has been so annoying to not have my time in the forest. And boy, I loved it today. I was looking at everything, just standing around outside the woods. Even though my house is kind of in the woods, it's still not the same thing. Yeah, so I twisted those together. One's slightly longer. It doesn't really work if you try to put two that are exactly the same. Who is the friend in the terrarium? Listen, this terrarium is, let's take a look. It's so bad, you guys. It used to have goldfish. Oh, sad. I have an African violet that's been in there. I tell you, it's probably 12 years old, and I never repotted it. It must like suffering. And then there's some dried out orchids, and it's embarrassing. Don't look at my horrendous corner. I'm gonna do this.
Block it with your whole self.
Oh, thank you. The twist, because I was wearing them together. They didn't quite sit. You know how you would want them to sit one on top of the other? One was a little bit like it kind of had a little bit of it looked kind of sagging. So the twist gave it a little bit of body so that it looked good together. I think. Colors are, Anyway, I'm going to move this. I'm going to change this camera. Let's see. Oh, Terry says, I'm a certified African violet assassin. If you ever find yourself in need, you know what? It is funny how I love plants, but they do not love me back. And that is the sad part of that situation. That was the situation there.
Oh, hi.
Okay, here we are. Trying to get my mess. Sorry. You never can tell how much is going to show. You don't know. Well, at least I don't know. I never know. Even though I should. I've been doing this long enough. All right. Oh, this is the kit I was using. So this is, what did you call this? Midnight Creek.
Correct.
And this is one that has a lot of specimen beads. Specimen. Yeah, so I have on here different agates, this is, what did I call
pull up
this?
the
Pull up that
list.
list, chrome dioxide. This is my favorite one though, and I think I used so much of it.
This is the list.
Oh, that's what it was, pyrite and dioptase. That's that green. So you can see it has a metallic shimmer through there. This one is ruby and kyanite. Let me show what happens when there's the presence of chromium. This is my favorite part of this. So see, that's the chromium glows under UV, and that's how you can tell if something is ruby. So it is not present in the different colors of sapphire, even though they're both corundums. The blue in sapphire does not have the chromium, so that's how you would tell. Sometimes you could look at that and be like, why wouldn't the sapphires fluoresce? Because it doesn't have chromium, which makes it red. So this is that, what I do with it. It's the silk. I did this in the Softlex, and I've crimped it. That's how I did this. I'm going to polish this camera lens. I feel like it's a little, hold on a second, folks. Sorry. Better. Oh, thank you, Terry. I do love gemstones. I'm going to read the rest of them. Where did you have that listed, Azalea? Show me that list again. Where is it? Okay, so chocolate labradorite. That's what that brown is. Duh. Ruby in kyanite blue, rutile quartz, trolleyite, which is, where's that blue? The trolleyite. Chocolate ocean jasper. That's this. It's really lovely. Orbicular jasper. It looks like little planets to me. Canadian jade. That is this. And the sunstone moonstone is probably one of my favorite things in here, because check this out. Let me go so I can see what is happening. Why do I want that one? This one. Here we go. Oh no, wait. Oh, you're fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
This one is one kit here. This one is. Where'd that one? This is the sunstone and iolite. It's got a beautiful shimmer to it. Oh, thank you, Polite. A whole gem show in Cynthia's bead kit. Yeah, it is good. You know, if you were to get the individual strands, you'd have to get like 10 strands to get all this variety. So this is what I used there, except for this part right here. Oh, Carolyn says, I can't wait to see my porcelain blueberry bead order and start stringing. We have them finished up. We just finished it and got these. That's this kit right here. It comes with this brushed finish. It's the shiny, no oxidation. This would be a really good one to do paints on, but it looks good the way it is. We have folks that love the silvery finish, but more people like the antiqued. So that's what this is. This is the porcelain berry kit. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's our revised porcelain berry.
Yeah, sometimes, you can't get every single bead because they're, like, for example, this is a sodalite that has orange in it. How crazy is that? Can't get that anymore. Or maybe you can if you know where to look, if you can find it. Some things are just harder. This one's not super rare, but the quality was really good. This Dalmatian jasper. They call it that because it has that spot. And I've seen it where people call it, they'll say, it's like they put an accent, so it was Dalmatian. And I was like, you mean Dalmatian? But, you don't want to be critical. Anyway, that's that kit. This that was laying here is from this kit here. And this one is the water lilies. It has 2 bead caps and some birds. I didn't use the birds, but this one has golden lepidolite, aquamarine tourmaline, quartz crystal, and one of my favorites is this rose quartz that makes kind of a star. There's mica in it, but I like the name as rose water quartz because it's so translucent and has a beautiful sparkle. So that's what this is. All right, so those are the kits that we debuted. This one went today. We showed this off. I'm going to trim this, and I crimped it right there. Let's see where I crimped it, and I'm going to trim that. And you know what I'm going to do? Instead of worrying about it, I'm just going to use a crimp cover to protect that little knot. Now, because I don't love that one, there's a little piece sticking out. So I'm going to have to do that soon. Did I? Yeah, I pinched that close. For a moment, I thought I didn't even crimp it. You're like, what did you do? All right, now I think what I'll do is I will show you what I worked on yesterday, which was pretty fun. So this is Midnight Creek. We have some of this left if you're interested. It's a really good deal as far as gemstones. These are really good quality. These are not super cheap. They're beautifully drilled. They're a nice collection of specimen grade. Well, not specimen grade, but specimen type. Just more unusual. So I'm going to put that so I can get it ready for photos. I'm so bad about getting photos ready. Oh, here's one. You know what? I was showing this and I forgot I took some out so that I could make this. This is another use I was doing with this. This is the other part of it. So that also includes these stones. So there's another 6 or 7. But I mixed in, look at this idea. I'm not sure if I want to do this. But what do you think of this? These are tiny little nuggets of opal, brown opal, black opal. And then I started experimenting and putting in these.
You know what I like is green opal.
Yeah, that's harder to find though. That's
I
real
know.
hard to find.
It's expensive.
Some of this. And look at these. These are from, that's how they string them on this grass. This is a sort of, kind of, they call this look. These types, they're kind of opalescent. The trade name when you go to the African village or the African dealer, you'd say, because they name this a greasy Vaseline is what those, the way they call that, because it kind of has that translucent look. So anyway, those are what I put on the end, if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that in there. So it's a little bit different. I was trying to see how that would look. So this, there's a gal I follow on Instagram. She's one of my customers, and she makes these strands. She calls them strands. And this is not a copy of hers. She does a little bit different, where she does a wave kind of thing with small, medium, and large, small, medium, and large. So it's like it goes like this. This I'm doing a small bead. I was seeing how that looks. I think it has a great kind of, I think it has a nice shape to it with this. Wendy, these also have a very small hole. So the answer to that, if you've done that to yourself like I did, so these, I didn't make a kit with them because I didn't love the hole size. So if I find these again and they're better drilled, I'll pick them up. But this is using Soft Touch, and this is one of my very, very favorite of their products. I've had this spool for ages, and it's good. I use it for when I need something very fine. It's very strong, and this would knot great. The one when I was knotting before was this fine right here. And this is, here's a comparison. I don't know if you can see that. This is a little heavier, a tiny bit heavier. Sharon says, do those beads shine under black light? Let's see, I think that, let's check it. Doesn't seem like. I think that has, when you have, this is a blue or a UV light. I don't think it does fluoresce under that, because this is not a black light. But I was going to see if it fluoresced under a UV. But anyway, that's another option. So this is the Midnight Creek with some small beads. I think that this gauge of bead here could be smaller. Possibly this would be a better match right here. Don't you think? Possibly? I don't know. Like a seed bead. If you can picture it in between. A little bit smaller gauge, I feel, would work better with that. But anyway, this is one I made for me. I kept it from our last batch. I make, when I do these sapphires, I have the energy to do between 10 and 15 in one go, because these take forever to set. And look at this, I did double. And it came out so good, I was like, you know what, I'm keeping it because I need it. All right, so that's enough on that. So if you need a design idea, you can try this. You could get, if your beads have a very small hole, you can get Soft Touch, or I think these would actually fit. Let me see. Let me see if these would fit. That would be wonderful, because this feels a little bit light and like they're kind of loose on there. And I like them to not have any play. So let's see if this fits those microscopic holes. These opals have the small, so I don't have to get my glasses on to even see that. Wendy says, I have a huge chunk of exquisite opal. Whoa. Arlene, I see that you have you have commented. You see how it's in lowercase? You need to make it like this. I don't know if you can see that right here, or like this part right here. All caps. Hold down your caps lock when you're doing it. So let's test to see if this goes and it fits this bead here. There. Oh, well, good. Maybe I'm going to redo it then because this is nicer. And when I say nicer, I mean nicer fit. Yeah. So that's how I basically do this. I run it through here and grab them. And it looks like I have some opals, or not. I mean, this is opals. But it looks like I mixed in a little moonstone action in there too. So that looks pretty. Look how it looks with that copper underneath. I kind of love it. Anyway, that looks good. Oh, Wendy, it was your great aunts. I think you were telling me about that. Oh, Terry, I'm not looking at them. I'm doing this. Look, it's far away from my face, and I'm just kind of running that through there. You know what it's kind of like? You know that bead thing that you get that was for seed beads? This is good. That's kind of like I'm just grabbing them. Or you can grab them like this and hold one at a time and go, because they're kind of sideways, and I'm not really... I have to put on, I don't have my opera visors on, which is kind of funny about that, because I usually wear those. They're connected to my head. So anyway, this works. That fine looks great. And it knots beautifully, which is in this. As you can see that. That's what I used here with the silk. And I crimped it, and we'll see if it wears it out. I don't think it will. So, oh, and I forgot to mention the whole thing. We uploaded, or Azalea, when I say we, I mean Azalea, uploaded, look at all this cheddar. So I made these the other day, and look how good it looks, all that. So much good. So, actually, you know what? I thought about this art project. And I thought, maybe I'll make these as like seams, but then make them where they're kind of like this big, king size, Mr. T. So they're actually more, instead of a pendant, they're more like jewelry for your wall. I have some more of these if you've been waiting. I got a couple. I get messages about once a week saying, hey, Goofy, where are those coins? I said that goofy part. No, they don't call me goofy. That's like my mom. This mermaid. I love them. They're like pirate treasures. So anyway, this is live. If you want to get any new coins, if you need them, it's been a minute since I've done them. And if you get them right away, I haven't punched them yet. So you can say, hey, leave mine unpunched. But if you wait around the next couple of days, I will have punched them. So let me know ASAP. Otherwise, it's going to come punched. Get this little fatty. Isn't that cute? It's my rain frog. It's taking shelter under a mushroom. The good part about this, I carve these in reverse. That means I dig out the design. And you can get all kinds of crazy little details in there. I'm like, check out this. Check out this. Oh, I forgot I made this. Look at that. There's a little... I have gators on my brain lately. Look, he sees that dragonfly. They don't usually bend around like that, but this one is. Bonnie says, would be cool to epoxy clay the coins onto a carved box. Yes. Oh, what is Wendy talking about? I didn't know about those, so they're only pretty in the water. What were we talking about? Carolyn says, are those coins on the website for sale? Yes, they're on the website. So there's only like, I don't remember how many I made. I made 2 or 3 of each. I have a lot of designs, and I make them in batches of like 50 at a time. So within that 50, I'll make like 3 of this snake coin, and I'll make, like 2 of this little hognose. I don't make a lot of them because you never know. You don't want to sit on a bunch of them and then nobody is ordering it. Because then what? All right, I'm going to show something else real fast. Oh, we're at the 34 minute. What's the deal with water opals? Oh.
Random question.
What
Were
do
you
think
talking about water opals?
I think Wendy's talking about an opal she has. I have an opal that I carved at Kate's, if y'all recall. Was that, did we do that live? Were people watching for that?
Maybe.
Or
I don't
am I
remember.
thinking of something else? So this is also for that kit. We'll put that. Oops. Marianne, the coins are made from, bronze. So when we went to Sarah's house yesterday to felt, look what I made. Here's another one that I made before. Don't get freaked out now. Maybe you guys didn't know this, but I make dolls and sculptures every once in a while. So here's one. She has a little painted face and her body is made out of felt. She's a little bit dusty. She's been sitting next to my desk. Is she cute? She kind of reminds me of my friend Katie Wall.
That's funny, isn't it?
Hello? That's how I answer the phone, by the way, to my friends. If you get my voice for when someone I don't know and I have to answer the phone, it's like this. Hello? And then they're like, Mr. Thornton?
Mr. Thornton? Goofy moment.
So goofy. So anyway, I started making this, and we were wet felting. It was pretty hilarious because we were getting our aggression out, with like everything happening in Asheville, and it's kind of stressful, having to go hunt for water, and having to, the internet going out and dealing with that, just different things that are kind of annoying. But then you have to follow that. But we are the lucky ones because we are the lucky ones because some people lost it all. And you don't want to be a jerk and talk about all of the things you want. Okay, this one has, that piece of foam was $5 apparently. Anyway, you use this foam. This is a felting needle right here. See that little, it has little divots on it. So this is how you do it. I have this basket. Actually, my whole station is surrounded with yarn and fiber. As I said, we might do some felting with Sam. And she said, when was the last time you felted? And I was like, maybe 2 months ago.
I carried everything upstairs.
Anyway, this is maybe the head. So this little flower face. This is supposed to be like, the body is supposed to be kind of like a leaf. And I'm adding to it. So this is its tail. Okay, so this yarn or this fiber, this is called roving. And this is what, look at how beautiful. This is hand dyed. I got this at SAF last year. We didn't get SAF this year because of Helene. Thanks, Helene. SAF is the Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival. So what you do is, where's my blenders? Here they are. I've shown felting in the past. Here, look at this chewed up rabbit. I made this. We'll not show it for too long because it's kind of scary. But here's one. It doesn't have its fur. This is just the base. Don't worry. That's just the base. Okay, so here's how you do for blending. Take this. They use these. Call it a carder. I call them blenders. So they have these things on either side, and you go like this. And you make wefts. Not weft. What's a better word? Bundle. You make a bundle.
It's like a weft.
It's kind of like a weft. So what I did, I'm going to take a piece. You don't cut it with scissors. You just pull it like this. You just pull what you need. And I want this color right here. So then what you do is you lay it down. It's not pretty. It's hand dyed. And I want to mix it with this. This is merino. There's no sparkly in there. Oh, my friend Kate. We were just talking about you a few minutes ago. I was showing this that you sent me, and I was telling how you could use this with, I used silk. Remember we talked about that silk? It will work great. Here's silk with soft flex, so it knots perfectly, Kate, as we discussed that a couple months ago. We thought, hey, would that work? Well, it does. There's silk and there's soft flex in there, and it's not even the soft touch. It's just fine. Oh, Kate says, I want to be blending fiber. It is so good. Sherry says, could you use a dog brush? Looks just like one. You know, the dog brush, I have one. It might work, but I think that it's not as good as this. Because look how good this is. So I can make little piles like this. And I'll use one side at a time and get in there like this and pull. And you get really beautiful blends. And I'm twisting it as I go, so it'll blend really nicely. And then once you have a nice little stack like this, it's all nice and fluffy. Oh, Kate has a drum carder. Lucky. Wendy says the tines might be too flimsy with a dog brush. Because you want, see this thing? A drum carder does a similar. If you want to blend, you could do this. You have two, so you could get it where you're getting. It's kind of hard to do this because I'm working within all these little stands. And I don't have a full range of movement here.
I didn't know we were felting tonight.
I didn't know either. I was going to show. I don't know what I was going to show except for that knotting. And then this became this. We're almost done, as I promised. Her eyes were starting to look glassy.
Oh, we did 2 lives in a row.
We did 2 lives in a row. We were just on with Softflex. They hosted us. It was our little bead party in, like, what were we calling it? We should have called it, like, Helene Relief. So you start at the top, and work down. I learned this from watching these Japanese gals make cats. I bought this book. So what these little needles, they have burrs at the top, and they're pushing the felted fibers that have kind of a little bit of a barb. When you look at them microscopically, they have like teeth almost, kind of like they lock into place. See how it kind of pushes that side out, and it locks that fiber in. You just go all around. Kathy says, do you have a button with that flower face? I love it. Oh, you know, I just made that. And I showed this a few months ago. Actually, it's getting closer to probably last Christmas when I showed how to paint in reverse with a silicone mold and resin. So this is a resin piece. And my goal was to then have I have some fake flowers that I'm going to tear off and add them to the back of this. So that's going to be the head of this. It's like this. So she's kind of like a little plant creature. Might thicken it up right here and do maybe like a leaf pattern. I haven't decided really, you know. It's like a little sculpture, little creature wandering around. See, she's kind of like, maybe she's like a praying mantis. No, you never know. You never know what's going to happen over here.
No, it's even a surprise to me.
You never know what's going to happen. Oh, I miss you, Kate. I miss my friends. It's good to have fun. But you know what? It's like when we get together on the GBE, it's a good time. When everybody's together. Just like in the old times when we would do bead shows. You guys remember those days? It seems like a long time ago. It wasn't that long. I mean, they have bead shows now, but it's not the same as what they used to have. Like when I was talking to Sarah about her first bead show, she mentioned it was at Embellishments in Oregon or Washington. I can't remember if it was in Portland or Seattle. I want to say Seattle. Wendy says, is there a wire Yeah, you know what? This has a base of twisted, so you can see it right here, pipe cleaners. And you know what? I forget the lesson every single time. I just pick random colors, and you know what? They kind of pop through sometimes, especially at this point. So I have to remember to use green or whatever color. If you're going to make an animal, I did see a comment that said, this would be fun for animals. Yes, you could make animals this way. You would absolutely make them this way. So this, if you were to make a bushy, like raccoon tail, you see I did that side. I'm going to move to this one. You know, I used to work at a haunted house factory in my early 20s. And this right here, this action that I'm doing, reminds me of when I would punch hair into the corpses that we made that were made out of silicone and foam. We were trying to make dead bodies, for the haunted house. And you would punch the hair in. The hair punch for those was a little bit different. It was kind of like a fork. And then you'd push it into the silicone or into the latex. You could use either one. Wendy, it was a cool job. It was a very cool job. It was called the Scare Factory. That's pretty cute. I was telling Azalea stories. I don't know if I should tell them. I might get in trouble. Of urban exploration in the 90s. Was it in the 90s? Late 90s? Because she was like, oh, they're having a haunted house. I said, we went to a haunted house when I was in college. It wasn't a haunted house. It was the penitentiary. Before they opened it to tour. I mean, it was pretty easy. You would not be.
So it's just an abandoned prison that you were hanging out in.
I wasn't hanging out. We were just trying to see what was what. And during the day, they had all these signs that you're not supposed to go in there, but we wanted to see what was inside. So we waited till it was dark.
Oh, wow. Horror movie. Like a horror movie.
We went underneath the gate and checked it out. I believe our friend, who was with us? Jay Mueller, Aaron Watts, Tom. I don't know if you were with us that day. My friend Tom, if he's ever watching here, he might remember that afternoon. I mean, it wasn't locked up tight. They clearly didn't care if people went in there. Well, maybe they did. But, we were teenagers, so what do you do? Anyway, it was pretty scary. What we didn't think of is that there would be other people in there with us. That was the scary part, because then it was also dark. And I was like, Azalea, what are you guys going to do on Halloween? It could be like us when we were in our youth time. And she said, hard pass. Colite says, a prison as an escape room. Well, you know what? We got kind of turned around in the dark. And I did not see the exit, because then there's all this like dripping water. And, it all looks the same, especially in the dark. So we just had our flashlights. Then we kind of got freaked out that there are other people in there that we did not account for. We thought we'd be the only ones. So that was pretty fun. That was my youth time. We were getting like inspiration for our own haunted house. And it turns out, I was like, you know what? They don't have to do anything for this. You just have to show up and it's scary. And I think that's what they do. Is that still around, Sam? Or did they tear that penitentiary down?
I don't know.
It's in Columbus.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Linda, you're so good about that. She says, only 9 likes. We can do better. Let's all hit that like button for the ladies. Thank you. Yes. When we get likes or any kind of interaction, what happens is Facebook will show our video to more people. And that way we get more folks watching. And sometimes when we have a live sale, that means that there's, less of the unclaimed things for us. So that's a real blessing when we have a sold out live sale, which is especially important nowadays since a lot of our areas that we usually like to set up have kind of washed away. Because sometimes we do, little art festivals and pop-ups in the holiday season. We did a few. We've set up at the Sierra Nevada. We've set up, where else did we set up? One time it was Azalea's birthday and we set up in front of a brewery. Remember that? Good
How could I
times.
forget?
Good times. Let's get some scissors and trim this. See what it looks like. You need sharper scissors, one. And generally you should wait till you have the whole thing before you trim. But boy, is it fun to do this part. It's like that. Did anybody else have that doll that you could cut its hair? That's what it's making me think of. Ah, yes. I'll make more, Carolyn. She says the bronze snake folklore button pendant sold out when I was putting it in my cart. I'll check next time. So when I see that, if there's something like that, that means to me that I need to make more. So what I'll end up doing is making a list and making a few more. So when I do another launch, I'll make extra. So Wendy says, how do you secure her face on there? The way that you do that is, now there's a few ways. What I'm planning on doing is I'm going to spread out these wires like this, right? I'm not going to attach it now, but when it's time, because I'm going to put more on here before I actually add this. And so this one I left, you can see it's not quite finished. I under poured this piece so that it has a kind of a lip on the outside. So what I'm planning on doing is embedding this like this, holding it in place, and then pouring UV resin on the outside and then curing it, and it will act as a glue. So you could do that. You could use this, or you could drill it. I've drilled these in the past. Yes, Terry says, did you use pipe cleaners for the skeleture? The skeleture underneath is pipe cleaners. It could be, like, it gives it a very flexible, so if we were to use this in our puppet show that we're working on, that would be perfect. So there's this little tail.
We should do a giveaway now.
All right, so Zoe says time for the giveaway. Thank you, Linda, for saying that. Thank you. She's good at telling the people to do the likes. I'm kind of making a mess. She got tangled up in. All right. Okay, so Azalea's getting ready, y'all, to do the giveaway for the Golden Hour kit.
Okay, I don't care what that says.
Yeah, because I think it's incorrect.
Liz!
Yay, Liz!
Liz 5, give us a comment if you're still with us in here.
Yes, if you are with us, please let us know.
For the, show that kit again, the one that's the giveaway, yeah.
This is the Golden Hour. Come on, Liz. Did you see?
Yep, she's here.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you for playing, y'all. All right, switch that around, little daughter. All right, my friends. So what we did today, earlier we had a double live. So when we were with Sarah for her soft flex, I showed how to knot silk and fine soft flex together to make a strong, non-stretchy, what was I going to say? I guess non-stretchy. But that's the kit that we were showing and debuting. This is the Midnight Creek. It's a beautiful collection of beads. And I also showed some felting techniques. All right, my friends. I think I'll wrap it up. My voice is getting very dry. And it is almost another, we've been going on for almost 2 hours. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. And we want to say we really appreciate all the orders that have come in. Y'all are keeping us alive. I mean, there's really all the places that we sell to downtown. Those places are in the river. So this is, it's going to be kind of a harrowing winter. We're going to see what happens, but we're remaining positive, and we will have some new ideas. So one of the things is a couple of Zoom. These one will be pay type of classes. We need something to kind of offset the loss of our kind of physical setup places. So get ready to see that. I'm working on the wax party right now. That'll be where you get a kit, the wax, and then you can have a cast here or you have a cast elsewhere. That's one idea. And we have a couple more. All right. Thank you, my friends. All right. So we will see you this Sunday. We'll have something new to show. And also, don't forget, I almost forgot until Sarah reminded me, and I've been telling people, Friday night at 8, we have a loaded up party with lots of friends. Candy's going to be there, Sarah, Kristen. It's going to be a good time. So if you want to see something like another kind of beading party, we have something planned for Friday night. If you're not doing anything, stop by, say hello. All right, my friends, we will see you Friday and Sunday.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.